Indiana. This is my lovely wife and my family, and we want to tell you thank you for being a part of this conference. Of course, this is 2021 Full Gospel Marriage and Family Conference, and our theme is home improvement. I don't know of any home that could not use some improvement. We're excited about what's going on. We know that you guys are being blessed, and I wanted to personally thank you for being a part of that. Now, we've got a few things that we're going to talk about a little bit today, and we just wanted you to really meet my family and let us talk to you a little bit about how we do what we do and how we go about trying to make everything work.
Yes, my name is Alicia Ramsey. Pastor Ramsey and I have been married for 25 and a half years. We live here in Indianapolis, Indiana. We have 3 amazing children, and we're going to let them introduce themselves, tell them how old they are, and anything else they would like to say before we get started.
And hopefully we won't need to delete any of it.
Hi, my name is Judah Ramsey. I'm 11 years old.
That's all you want to say?
No.
And I go to St. Richard's Episcopal School.
Okay.
We'll go with Jeremiah next.
No, you could go next.
My name is John Ramsey Jr. I'm 23 years old. I currently just graduated college, Marion University, elementary education major, special education minor, and I'm currently teaching on the south side of Indianapolis.
And you're still in school.
Yeah, and I'm still in grad school.
Finishing up the master.
And this is Jeremiah David. Jeremiah David is 19. He'll be 20 July 31st. And he is in the life skills program at Zionsville Community High School. So he has a encyclopedia in his lap. He knows that this is a church event, so that's his Bible per se, and he's looking for the scripture.
Yes, he always has a Bible with him, or what he thinks is a Bible. And so he has raided my library at home many, many times, and we just kind of let him do it now. But, you know, family is precious to us. And we've always felt like when we came together, I think we both had so much in common in terms of what we wanted for a family.
Right.
But we also understand that you can't always plan everything out perfect, and things may not go as you seem in every situation. And so we've really learned how to make adjustments. Wouldn't you think that that's the theme for our marriage and our family?
Yeah, we make a lot of adjustments on a regular basis. Even for us to get together to do a taping is not like the typical family. This is a Sunday that we are taping. My husband came, did the first service. Our youngest came with him. I stayed home to get myself ready, get Jeremiah ready. Our oldest lives on his own. He's in grad school, he's working. So I made sure I text him a few days prior to meet us here and what time. So it was a lot of things to get together.
And then did a baby dedication after the first service
Right.
before we came up here. So that's really a part of what our life is about. And we wanted to just kind of talk to you about, you know, just how important family is to us, what it means, and why we have a conviction about it. When I was growing up, obviously, you've heard us say before that marriage is not the coming together of 2 lives, it's a collision of 2 histories. And we have always tried to take our marriage and model what we didn't get, but also benefit by what we did get. And that's really how we try to make things function and operate with our kids. And as you can see, there are 3 different ages, 3 different levels, 3 different set of circumstances, but all of them have a purpose. All of them have a destiny. And we're very committed to helping them get that.
Right. Johnny, what has it been like for you growing up in the home of a pastor?
Yeah.
Being a PK?
I think you always get that typical, you know, you hear like the PK like stories, and I don't know, you see it in the movies and different things of that nature. But I think it's made it, you know, even kind of more different, you know, when you look like, you know, your pastor, like pretty much.
How you look like your dad.
Yeah, so it's just like, but it's been good, you know, just from, you know, the standpoint of the support that you guys provide, for like myself as well as like, you know, Jay and Judah, just supporting our dreams, whether it be, you know, football, like aspirations, like just the camps in middle school and high school that we went to, or, you know, even just with track, like running, you know, AAU, that support. And it's not just about like mentioning those things, but how you guys like make sure that we have the support and the tools that we, you know, need so we can be like the best that we can be.
Yeah, and you went to public school for middle school and even for high school. How was that for you when people, did they automatically know, and especially it was not a very diverse school you were at for high school, did they automatically know what we did? You know, in the African American community, yes, people knew who your father was and what he did, but while you were at high school, what was that like for you?
Yeah, I think just like the biggest thing was just embracing it for the most part. I think that, you know, you're always going to have somebody that knows something about it, or like somebody's parent has watched this service, or somebody's, you know, visited with, you know, their friends, or even like people, friends that you have in high school, you know, went to your church with this person. So there's like a bunch of different like circumstances, but I think that for, you know, myself, just, you know, the more older I got and the more prevalent I feel like, you know, it would become, because I'd have coaches, you know, mention it to me that I didn't even know that you knew that, you know, my dad's a pastor. But at the same time, it's just like, you know, that is, you know, our background, that is like our history. But at the same time, like, that's not going to make me look at my family any differently, or look at where I come from any differently, because, you know, I just want to make sure that, you know, I embrace it, you know. And was it always, you know, the easiest to embrace when you're, you know, like 16, 17, like it wasn't, but the older you get, the more that you see that it really, you know, helped, you know, mold you to the person you are.
And one of the things I'd like you to speak on is one of the things that you and I talked about a lot, and we were really, we really wanted to make sure that this happened, that our children had a normal life.
Right.
Like you grew up with pastors and things like that, and everything. Nobody in my family had ever pastored or had been in ministry that I was aware of at that particular time.
Right.
So I had a chance to try to cut my own cloth and set our own environment and things. But we've always heard the horror stories of different pastors and their children and their families and that type of a thing. And we've always made family the priority, so they felt as normal as possible. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Judah, you were a little different. I'll let you say something first, because you've been sitting so patiently there. You were a little bit different. Now, Johnny, we call John Jr. Johnny. So Johnny, he really didn't talk much about it to people. He just did his thing. You kind of like to advertise with your daddy. So how was it like for you with your daddy being a preacher or pastor?
I mean, it's not no different than anybody else, but like a lot of people know my dad, and a lot of people know that my dad's a pastor and stuff. So it's not really different.
That's good. So
People
why
knowing
is it?
that's your dad.
So it's not different. So that's even good hearing from her that it's not different. So what makes it special for you, the time that you have? What's the special time you have with your dad?
Besides me spoiling you too much.
We do daddy-daughter dates. We watch cooking shows together. We play Uno. We play chess together. And we just hang out a lot together. We watch movies. And we camp out together.
Not outside. But
not in the woods.
Not outside. In the house.
We camping inside. Maybe that's bougie camping.
This is bougie camping. We don't do the woods.
Blankets.
Blankets and stuff. And
blankets, like on the same blankets, same pillows.
But I think that's one of the things, was that we made sure that we had our own thing with each child. You know, Johnny and I, we incorporated our sci-fi. That was our date.
That really was.
You know, so Star Wars, Avengers, all of those types of things were what he and I did together and still do together, even though he's 23. And Judah and I, you know, are getting our nails done, our girly time. And Jeremiah and I, you know, music. And you've done the same thing too, sports with Johnny. Now you're doing your gaming and sports with her. And you and Jay like to take drives.
Golf cart.
In the golf cart. You purchased a golf cart. We don't golf, but it was for you and Jay to be able to go around the neighborhood and spend time together. What did you want to say, Judah?
Oh yeah, I want to say about school and stuff here. My dad having a dad as a pastor. Like I've been going to that school since I was like 4.
Yes, you.
I've been there for like 8 years, so it's like they've known me for a long time, so it's like they just treat me like they would treat any other person.
That's good.
That is really good.
And Jeremiah has some exceptional needs. I've always tried to refer to it as temporary limitations. So he can't say everything that he wants to say, but Jay communicates in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And one of the ways that he communicates is through music. He communicates through sermons. I get tired of hearing myself preach at home. And my wife ministers as well, and she'll be on his iPad because he lives on the iPad. He loves church, loves being a part of worship. And I think one of the stories with one of his therapists that really blessed me is when you told me about the young lady that was working with him that was a believer, and she was having a difficult day. And Jay loves music so much that he went over, he noticed it or something, and he went over to her and he turned some worship on and took her hands and held them up in the air for her to hold up her hands to worship. And she said tears just started coming down her face. And it's amazing that on one hand, he has some limitations in terms of what he can say, but yet on the other hand, God uses them all the time.
It's like he speaks Jeremiah. Don't you think that, Johnny, it's amazing that after 19 years, we know what he wants, what he's saying. Like here recently, he spent some time at your place. And tell us about that. Like your dad and I were so proud that, you know, he spent the night with his big brother in his big brother's house.
The pictures were the best.
Yeah, how was that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like you learn just over the years, like certain, kind of like that unspoken like language, if that makes sense. Just because I think for a long time, a lot of us kind of had to like, especially like me being in like that older role. And like with Judas, like, you know, you are like the younger sibling, so but like being in that older role and like with you guys, it's like we had to like assume for a long time, and even Judas probably found herself doing it like what he wants or like because of that communication barrier. But I know when he like stayed with me, it's just like, you know, do I understand and recognize that you have like, you know, these like, you know, special needs and everything like I do, but you know, you're still my brother at the end of the day. Like, you know, we pulled up at a pizza spot, like, all right, like, you know, we can't, I was like, we can't go in unless you put this mask on. So it's like, either we stay in the car, like, I got to get it delivered, or like, you know, you come in with me. And so like, you know, he's at that age now where he recognizes like, I have to do these things in order for us to be able to, you know, kind of like have those moments and memories. And it's good that like COVID hasn't really like limited the impact of like, you know, what we do just as far as like building that relationship.
Right. No, I agree with that. And it took patience as a family because it was difficult early on because he cried a lot, you know, he screamed a lot. He would try to hurt himself. He didn't want to go places. There were times we would go out to eat. This was before we had Judah. We would go out to eat and he would, you know, scream. So one of us would have to go out into the car and I would sit in the car. So, you know, and Johnny handled it like a champ. He got to the point, hey, this is my brother. This is what we go through. So you would stay in the restaurant. Because sometimes with the exception of these children, families just stayed home because of the embarrassment in those episodes. But we traveled.
Man, we do it all.
Cruises, the Bahamas.
Now we pass out at night. We pass out at night. But we do it. We want to make his journey on this earth absolutely amazing and everything that God would have it to be. You know, Jay has also taught us all about toughness because Jeremiah's been through a lot of surgeries. He's had surgeries on his leg where they try to extend the tendon so that in hopes that he could stand up straighter. And he's also had situations where because of a sensory problem and his challenge that one particular night he literally pulled his stitches out. And, you know, when we went into the room, the leg was open, called the ambulance and all of that, and they had to go through all of that again. But I mean, he's one of the toughest little guys you're going to find anywhere. And I think as a family, we just got used to knowing how to rally to certain things and also knowing how to try to figure out when we needed to catch our breath for a minute.
Right. We take him to Johnny's track meets.
All the time.
You know, his brother, we take him to the football games. We are inclusive as a family. So you hear about inclusion and people say it, but we are totally from the beginning. Because do you remember that he couldn't walk till he was like almost 3? But we would take him up to the pulpit and he would sit on your lap during offering. So he would always sit on your lap during offering, and people got used to seeing him, even in the church. We've always made sure that people could see him. They knew, you know, our story when he started having seizures. They knew about that. We never hid how difficult it was so people could be a part of it.
It was really difficult. And I think for me, you know, as a man, you know, I've spent the majority of my life. And, you know, when you think about it, a lot of my life really is centered around fixing things, whether it be helping people fix a marriage or a family or a financial situation or whatever it is. And a lot of that has been a part of this as well as you do all the time. What was so challenging for me is that I couldn't fix it. There was nothing I could do that could fix it. Right. And that took me, I think, quite a few years to really kind of embrace and get my head around. And once I did, I had to come to the conclusion, okay, guess what? I still wouldn't trade him for anybody. He still has a purpose. He has a wonderful heart. And that God is still going to use him, and he's going to have an incredible life. So Jeremiah has traveled places. He's been to Bahamas.
Right, Jamaica, Disney. Jamaica. Like, we've been blessed, and God has allowed us to, take him places. Before COVID hit, we just got him back flying again. Do you remember that? And
that took a long time to get to that.
We went to Jersey for Thanksgiving. New York, remember on Black Friday? Yeah. We were in New York because I have a brother that lives up there, and we had Thanksgiving, but we drove. We drove to Canada.
We do a lot of driving trips.
We did a lot of that.
Like Hershey's Park.
Hershey's Park.
Yeah, we drove everywhere. So many things.
And what we do is, a lot of times, because he has mild cerebral palsy in his legs, we would take a wheelchair with us so he could keep going. Yeah. And we could keep doing what we love to do. And Kentucky what about Kingdom. I know. Kentucky Kingdom. And in that time, you went to a full gospel event. You were down at a conference in Nashville.
I was.
And it was just me, Johnny.
Yes, y'all was swinging it out.
And we had so much fun. We had so much fun. Judah, how is it for you having such a unique brother?
Because Judah has a heart for a brother, too.
Yeah. Because you don't look at him any different, but one thing I do know.
I look at him as like my normal brother. But he just has challenges. But he can do most things that people do. Like, he can call people. He knows how to try to post stuff on Instagram. He tries to, but we catch him. He knows how to do everything that a normal person knows how to do.
You remember you told me that time that Jeremiah, you asked me to check one of my feeds. Yeah. And you said he had posted Whitney Houston or something, or somebody had posted
all the time. But now it's our church, and people that follow a lot of us, they're used to it. So they'll say, "Hi, Jeremiah," or when something is different that he posts, they'll say something like that. Now, Johnny, we see that you have on your fraternity shirt. You pledged, and your father and I supported you through that process. Yeah. And it was very interesting to you because some people thought that there would be a problem. With that. Share a little bit about that, because we've always allowed you to be who God created you to be.
Yeah, I just think that even, just the support was always there. I told them, I think it was my junior year, just about my aspirations and interest of joining the organization. And then I, was always able to back it up with, my relationship with, this brother, my relationship with this brother. And I think that really, joining it, it's obviously, that there's going to be, brotherhood. There is going to be relationships that, last a lifetime. But it expands just beyond, because I pledged Fall 19, the Sigma Phi chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And it was just the brothers that you get to meet from different campuses and areas of the state, Gamma Eta, in Bloomington, or Gamma Rho in Purdue, and just being able to build those relationships, and how close family is to us, and just knowing that you have that lifelong family as far as those brothers in that relationship, that's meant a lot. And how they embraced Jeremiah, I think that was the biggest thing that showed me, especially at the probate, that this was the organization and the chapter for me, because I think, me looking around, I think we all were at a certain point, because you guys that came up to the front, you're where's Jeremiah at? But then I see him, hugging my dean or hugging my my ADP, and that showed me as okay, he's in a space where he's good.
Yeah, we had to kind of keep him confined because he
Yeah.
would have ran up there to you.
Yeah, he would have came up on it
Once
before
he
you
figured
finished.
out it was you, it was like, oh, he was gonna run up there before you. And your father and I have seen where that's even taught you different leadership skills that you wouldn't have even learned underneath us or in the church.
Yeah.
How'd you say it's developed you as a leader?
Yeah, I think just from the speaking standpoint, I think it really helped me a lot. And we started on campus, our brothers to sisters like discussion talks, and I started this like long before.
Okay, he's done.
Jay will be back. He may or may not be back.
He said, "I'm over it." Go ahead, Johnny.
But that was my buddy.
My buddy, you did good. You held it down.
Yeah, but that was like started before like Alpha and everything, and then I think once you get done, just the different events that you have to speak at and the different like collaborations, it showed me that especially with not even really thinking about it, but you do knowing that your dad's a pastor in the circumstances, like it helps you to where like on a Christmas like program, you can get up there and read, or you can do a speaking because you've done it and you've had that practice speaking in front of people before. And I think that's one thing that I'm thankful for that it's helped me with.
And he's so humble and laid back, that we didn't even always realize how much of that you were doing. You've always talked to me about it and that type of a thing, but the levels of it has been completely different the last couple of years too. So we were really proud of that. When we came to the probate, that was amazing.
It was.
It was amazing because one of the things that it also showed me about you, between the things that we've walked you through athletically and being there for everything and all the talks and things that we've had, that making it through that, you've made it through all of that, you played through injuries, you ran through injuries, all those kinds of things. And then in addition to all of that, then you go through the sacrifices that are necessary to achieve what you achieve with the fraternity. And to see all of that kind of culminate at the end was absolutely amazing. As a father, what it makes me think is it gives me a sense of peace, because I feel like between the things that we've walked you through in life and then the things that you've gone through and then the relationships that you have now, that you're going to be able to do just about anything you want to do in the future.
Yeah, and I agree. It's just like the perseverance, and I think that's one thing. And one thing about it is like no matter your dad's circumstance of being a pastor, even mom like preaching, and it's just like you can't really like dictate nor govern another person's like life for them. It's like you guys can lead the way, comfort, and provide that support and be there to like a certain extent. But I think that season of my life, it showed you guys is just like I have to dictate it. I have to make those decisions necessary to get me to where I want to be.
Yeah.
Right.
And we don't have any problem with that, because that's what the goal of every parent is to get their child to that point where they're confident, that child is confident in their decision making for life, and then the parents hopefully are as well.
Right. And we do our best to incorporate getting the kids involved. A lot of the programs here at church, for Christmas, for Easter, maybe celebrating, Pastor's Appreciation. I like to incorporate a lot of the youth. We have a youth Sunday we call Swag Sunday. So our daughter is used to, I think the first time you even did a praise dance at church, you had to be 3.
She had 3 or 4.
And Miss Tina, with you and Reagan and some of the other little girls. So we've always done our best to do it naturally. So now if I call Johnny and say, hey, can you, read the scripture for this? Can you recite it? Sure, Mom, no problem. Just tell me where to be. And she's becoming more comfortable to the point where, can I be a part of this program? Can I be a part of that program?
We're seeing that confidence grow.
Yes, and doing it that way naturally to where now it's incorporating speaking parts. I think even the thing I love about her school, she's in a private school because we believe in school choice. So her education needed to be different than her brother's. They do something every year where they have to get up in front of the whole school and they have to recite lines, or they have to be a part of musical, Christmas every year. Like every year they have programs, and that's one of the things I did love about her school is the fact that she has to get up and know how to learn lines, learn how to articulate herself, like you were saying, learning how to look people in the eye, talk loud enough. That's very important.
Yeah. Because any setting that you go in, you're going to have to go through some of that. You're going to have to get to a place where you're fairly comfortable being able to do that. And Judah's got a big future ahead of her too. She's talented. She's gifted. She's smart. And it's going to be interesting to see how this thing unfolds for her. It really is.
Because before COVID, and you were like 4 or 5, you used to tell people all the ministries you served on. What ministries do you serve on here at church?
I had a whole bunch. I can't even name all of them. I do ushering.
You're an usher, okay.
Pastor Days.
What else?
Pastor Days.
She's a part-time deacon.
Right.
So speak up. So you do.
Okay, I do ushering. I do pastor's aid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on
Like
The
greeters.
dance ministry.
yeah, dance ministry.
You've worked in the bookstore.
Oh yeah, I worked in the bookstore.
Didn't you try to get on parking lot?
Yeah, I tried to get on parking lot.
So when she's not on punishment, she gets to do all these ministries.
She enjoys serving, and and she enjoys serving in church, and that's one of the things we try to. And we even let Jeremiah in his own unique way. We started incorporating him into where he can stand up there with the praise team for a selection. Just really getting them to understand we serve as a family and we enjoy. Johnny, you've served on different ministries. Share that with them.
Yeah, I think like growing up, even just similar to Judah, like parking lot. What was I gonna say? Parking lot, like CDs.
Yep, you worked the bookstore.
Yeah, bookstore.
Mentoring.
Yeah, mentoring. I think cameras.
Cameras.
Yeah, you did camera. I forgot that.
Yeah, I've done cameras before, and then
I think that's good because we didn't just automatically put you in front of the people and have you start preaching or teaching or reading. It's like you learn all different aspects working at the daycare.
Yeah,
you've done that before.
Yeah, and I just think it just like I think the thing I like about even Judah doing those things and like that I did, that nobody's like better or like nobody is like above to do this job or like even when I would be in the parking lot and people would like come in. I'm in, high school or even in, college, like I, doing something too, and they're like, oh, like I didn't even notice that was. I'm like, yeah, like I'm here.
Right.
And it just shows that it's about like serving. It's not really about oh your parents play this role. Oh you can't do that or like that's beneath you or anything. Like
yes.
that.
And we've just never tried to strap you guys with that. We wanted to be as normal as possible because. So many people when, I wasn't around a lot of preachers at all, but, later on when I got in ministry in college, I started getting around a lot and I would just see, when people would say the stories about, well, how preachers' kids are. When I got married, I was pretty aggressive if someone said something along that lines. They just really didn't say that to me more than once or so because I was really, that was a frustrating statement because my thing was, that's not going to be how this thing plays out here. But then number 2, I would try to tell people things like this. Has it ever occurred to you that maybe some of those preachers back then, I don't know them, I have no dog in the fight, but maybe some of those preachers back then, maybe their kids grew up hating the church because the church stole their daddy, worked them like a slave and paid them like one too, while everybody else is going to Disney and everything else. So they want to culminate things and kind of tag it with one thing. We just never let that be the case here.
Right. So if we wanted to share something with you from this session and this intimate time of you getting to know our family, the things that we would share with you would really be about allowing, like you say all the time, Proverbs 6:22, train them up in the way that they should go.
Right.
And then when they're older, they will not depart from it. You really take that verse to heart.
Really do.
How we raise our children. I
really do. One of my mentors was a gentleman in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And he used to let me work for him. In the summertime, I would do his landscaping at his house, big, beautiful property. And he walked with 2 canes, never forget him, Phil Pano. And when I got done working out there in the sun, he would come out and bring me a glass of lemonade, sit down for about 30 minutes and just talk to me about the word. And he could talk the word, and I've seen him teach the word for 20 minutes and not turn to everything, but he's quoting everything. And I heard him say this one day that when we started breaking down one particular scripture, and that was the verse, it was train up a child in the way he should go. So a lot of us think, okay, just take up a church, take up a church, take up a church. That's good because that's a part of it. But it literally means in the original to train up a child according to his way. And every child's way is different, which means we can't take a cookie cutter approach to how we raise our kids.
Right.
And that's kind of the way we've always, that's
Right.
been really the footprint for us.
Right. So for our theme, when we talk about home improvement, what can you do today as a family to change the way that you are raising your kids? Because sometimes, you know, people say, well, they're 15 now, they're 20 now, you know, well, it's too late. It's never too late.
No, it's not.
Because has parenting stopped, Johnny, in your life with your parents?
No.
I mean, you're in grad
We
school.
don't mess with you much, but
I
we
mean,
still
we
gonna
let
do
you
a
do
little
your own
something.
thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it keeps going, and I think it's just, you know, just a matter of like respect. And I think
Yes.
that, like, you know, even just how it talks, you know, in the Bible about, like, you know, honoring your mother and your father. And I want, like, my days to be, like long and well.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, if I don't, like, it's obvious and it's, like, it's proof that, like, my days won't be, you know,
Right.
long and, like, they'll be numbered, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that that's just a matter of just trying to show that respect. And
And you remember when you were in high school, you were getting ready to go in to start the senior year, and I pulled you aside and I told you, I said, hey, our relationship is getting ready to change. You looked at me like I had 3 heads. You're like, Dad, what do you mean? And I said, well, you're getting ready to be a senior. I said, so I'm going to switch from being daddy to mentor, because I'm going to treat you like a man. We're going to talk about different things. I'm not coming at you sideways. You know, those things are just not going to be a part of the package. But we're going to talk like men about everything. And that's what we've tried to do throughout the course of the years, because I think it's, for me, I think it's important that even though you're my child, because of your age and because I know we've raised you right as best we could,
Right.
their parents need to understand that there needs to be a level of respect coming from us to you all as well. And that does nothing but take the relationship to the next level.
Absolutely. So this is our family. This is home
this is it.
improvement. We are continuously working on each other. Jeremiah David, he's not by himself.
Took an intermission.
He took it.
Yeah,
Pastor
he
Dave,
actually-
We're
they got it.
actually recording on a Sunday, so we have support here to help us today. And he was out. He's like, peace.
Yeah, he got out of here.
I'm out. But
But
we
he
hope
did well. He held it down for a bit.
he did very well. So we hope that you appreciate this time that we allowed you into our life and then into our circle. I want to say thank you, Judah Marie. You did a great job, and John Jr. today. So if you had to share with them one thing, maybe 2, that you love about your family, what do you love? Give them 3. 3 things that you love about this family. 3 things.
That might be too much, but let's
You
see.
can do 3 that you love about this family. And talk nice and
We're
loud.
really nice. My parents are really nice, and everybody's nice to me.
We're really nice.
I get spoiled a lot, and I really like that.
Yes.
We're working on that.
I like,
I need deliverance.
I like to get spoiled. So yeah.
Okay. And what's the 3rd thing that you love about
Family
your family?
time.
You do love family
She
time.
loves
Family
family
time.
You do love
Road
family.
trips, movies, anything.
You do. And that's one of the reasons that we incorporated the road trip. It was your junior year.
Yeah.
And we wanted to spend some special time before you went to college, and we incorporated
Because
that.
we remembered how we did it. growing up.
Right.
They
So
put 50 of you in the back
we
of the
just
car.
did a unique, got in our SUV, didn't tell them where we were going. That was the part that I loved about it. We surprised them.
Yeah.
And everything was a surprise, and they would wake up and see where we are, and that was priceless. We will never forget that time.
And Judy, you got to tell them who your favorite actor is and your favorite character.
Okay, so we go on road trips. I am in the very back seat because I like to take naps and stuff. But when we go on road trips, I watch movies in the car. And my favorite actor is Tyler Perry because he plays Medea, he plays Joe, and he plays Brian. So he's amazing.
And she memorized it. I got all the movies for her.
Yeah,
she
I memorize
memorizes
every
everything.
movie.
And she watched them over.
And she laughs at them like she's hearing it the first time.
and over. And Jeremiah's favorite in the car is Peppa Pig,
Peppa Pig.
or he likes the videos.
Yes, he
Yeah,
likes to
church
go like.
Yeah.
He likes to do that.
He
That's
likes
him.
to do that. So, Johnny, what would you say are the things that you love most about our family?
I would say like support is like definitely like number 1.
Mhm.
You know, it could be like growing up the taekwondo tournaments or football games or like track meets. Like I knew that like every single game, like I was always gonna have at least like one person there, if not multiple.
Right.
And then I think just like the ability to like adapt. I think that would be like the second thing. I think we could easily be a family that's like, you know, confined to the house and, you know, doesn't do anything based upon like the circumstances like with Jeremiah, but we've all been able to take away something from that to help us to like grow as individuals. And like I think that we all wouldn't be like the people that we are if it wasn't for, Jeremiah's circumstances.
I agree.
Because like if we,
I agree.
if he, didn't have the disabilities, whether it be physical or mental, like will we have the personalities that we have?
You're absolutely right.
So I think that's something.
You're right every now and then.
No, you're right. You're right.
And I think the third thing I'd probably say, is like the tough love. I think that like, when you make, mistakes or like there's something you could do better, it's like you're gonna hear it. It might be a little bit like to the punch, but it's just like it all comes from like a place of love, because like if somebody truly loves you, like they're not always gonna like toot your horn and tell you the things you're doing well. Like they're gonna like let you know those things. Like I think you could have done this better. I think and it's like that's how you know somebody like really cares about you, if they can tell you the tough things. So I would say those are the three.
And your dad and I, we're always in agreement when we are correcting our children on one accord. Yeah, we still have different styles, but we're always on one accord.
Judah likes it when I get on it, don't she? You like it when I get on your mom.
When Daddy gets on
she knows.
Because mom be like,
she knows. I'm about to say, mom's different, so she does as her dad. So what would you say, honey, are the three things that you love most about our family?
That there's a sense of fulfillment in our family.
Yeah.
And not because of any of this.
Yeah.
But just because of who we are.
Right.
And you and I say this all the time, and I think sometimes when people first hear it, they think we tripping or something, but they see it later on. We genuinely like each other.
Right.
We have fun.
Like each other.
We are like serious friends.
Right.
And so just the ability to have fun together, the ability to adapt together.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the ability, I think 3 would be knowing when the other needs something.
Yeah.
And sometimes needing something means you need me and all the kids to leave you alone for 2 hours. Sometimes it's you need to let me go dry this car for 2 hours. And those kinds of things. And I just think that we got a pretty good sensitivity towards that. But the thing I also think that I feel very good about concerning our marriage and then concerning our family is the fact that we're always trying to get better.
Yes.
We're always trying to get better.
We definitely are. And I think similar to all three of you, my first thing would be I love how unique our family is. Kind of like Johnny said, because of the uniqueness of our family, it makes us who we are today. The second, I would say, is the unconditional love that we have for each other. Johnny knows that his parents aren't perfect. You know your wife's not perfect. Judah knows mommy will have bad days or good days, but we still love each other unconditionally. And I think number 3 is that we have so much fun together.
yes.
We just have so much fun together. And Johnny even knows I am going to be that mother. He already knows. I want all of us together, no matter how old they get. I want, I don't have to have every Christmas, especially when they get married. I know I'm going to have to share. But if I don't get Christmas, I get Thanksgiving, I'll get 4th of July, and
she's gonna need the first couple.
And they will prepare their spouse like, okay, my mom's gonna have us in these matching pajamas.
Yeah,
get ready,
we're gonna be 75 in the pajamas.
She's gonna have the gifts separated. Like mom's gonna do all of this stuff, and they let me do that. And I think that's the thing that I love the most about you guys. You let me do the structure. Okay, what's the agenda, Mom? We go on vacation. Mom's gonna have an agenda because you know what y'all did to me one time though. As we're close, we went to Florida, and I always had an agenda when we go out of town. So they were whispering behind my back about my agendas and why does Mom always have an agenda? So I said okay, and I just threw it away. We won't have one. So we wake up the next, and they're asking, well, what are we doing today? And I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, I heard y'all talking about me. So I threw away the agenda.
She went hood on it.
I did. And so then they were like, okay, we sorry, Mom.
Mom, go on with your little agenda.
Go ahead, Mom, and have your agenda. But I love that. I definitely
But
like so.
I do like the Christmas, not last year, but the year before last year.
Oh, you didn't like last year?
Because we didn't go to Denver.
Well,
last year was nice.
Last
year was nice,
okay.
But the year before last, we went to Denver and we had really fun the hotel had
right, because what we did was we gave them a choice. Did you want a lot gifts or to take a trip? And it was unanimous that the family said let's take a trip.
Even Jay was like,
so we didn't do gifts. We took a trip and it was amazing.
Yes.
It was definitely amazing. So as we close out our time together, thank you for being a part of this conference. Thank you for allowing us to share our family with you.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you also for Presiding Bishop Joseph Warren Walker III, and all of the tiers of leadership for trusting us to serve in this capacity. And I also want to encourage you that even when these videos are over and you're done watching everything, I really want to encourage you that throughout the course of this conference to support the conference financially and to sow into it. We believe that Full Gospel is doing incredible things. I'm glad to be a part of it, and I know God's going to do great things in the future. And we just can't wait to hear some of the testimonies that come out of what God did in people's lives as a result of the speakers and what they experienced with this. So please financially support it as well, invest in it, and let's believe God for good things together.
Yeah. Pastor John F. Ramsey Sr., Overseer Pastor John F. Ramsey Sr.,
John Ramsey Jr.,
Judah Ramsey.
First Lady Alicia Ramsey. Thanks for being a part of our family room today. God bless you.
God bless. Take care. Be safe.